Manouk Akopyan. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to our partners, personal injury attorney Nelson Gavorkian. We got middleweight contender and prospect Eric Priest in the house, Brick House Boxing Club in North Hollywood, California. Eric, I know you're preparing for a fight. If you want to let everyone know, now's the time. When's the return date?
So we're going to be back December 14th in Ontario, California. That's what we're talking about right now. Should be finalizing details here pretty soon. Going for 15-0.
Absolutely. At this stage of your career, 25 years old, 4 years into your pro career, how would you assess your development and how you've been growing?
Oh, it's been great. I honestly, I wish I had more fights, and I think I should have, but COVID kind of set everybody back. I made my pro debut right before COVID, but I would say like these last few fights and the last year and a half, the fights I've been taking have really expedited my career. They're hard fights, went distances. I fought 10 rounds 3 times already, I'm feeling my development's great. I've been sparring with world champions, been in there with guys like Caleb Plant, Adames, Lara, just Brian Mendoza, just the best in the world. And so, that's a metric on how good we are skill-wise right now. It's great. So,
with being signed to Golden Boy, what has that been like for you?
It's been really cool, honestly. You're going from fighting in smaller shows to then you're fighting in the Cosmo, Mandalay Bay, big cards, big arenas, more publicity. It's sweet, it's cool, and at the same time, you got, new levels, new devils, you know what I mean? So you gotta, everything gets harder. So
what is the plan they have for you? What have been some of the conversations you guys have been having? Who are some target opponents that you guys are looking to get in 2025? What's the outlook looking like?
I think the whole goal is really, to get a world title young enough to be able to defend it and maintain that title. So I'm 25 years old right now. Like to be in the have a title before I'm 27, and that's my prime. My body will be the best. And as far as opponents, there's a lot of guys. Wouldn't mind running it with Zafra, Michael Zafra, the Australian guy. Good fighter, has some good fights. I just chase my dreams. You know what I mean? So. Some guys like that really would have to sit down with Golden Boy and figure out all right, so these are the guys that would lead me to getting a title contention. That's first on my head. That's the first thing that comes to mind, So
I'm familiar with your background. I called your pro debut in 2020 in February from Kansas, Golden Gloves, decorated amateur. But for those who don't know, officially reintroduce your amateur background.
My name is Eric Priest. I'm from Kansas City, Kansas. Golden Glove champion multiple time, ringside world champion finalist multiple times. Amateur boxing's messed up. I should have won, I think. Just a lot of a lot of amateur fights, a lot of background with that, combat sports. I think I bring something different. I'm Korean American. Obviously have a background with modeling and that kind of stuff, which is really has worked as a disservice for most of my career. Nobody takes me seriously, but it's proven people wrong. So
how does that work? Being in modeling as well too.
I don't really think shoots and agents really appreciate it when you show up with black eyes from sparring, but that's become pretty often. So I'm kind of still involved in the industry here and there, where I work with clothing companies more so from a brand side of things, rather than just straight up modeling or that kind of stuff. That's.
Who are some brands you work with?
I always worked with Adidas for a long time, ASRV, Mentality, Jackson, Santos Studios, Nike, Foot Locker. I was represented by Wilhelmina for a long time, so that's kind of where I am. Yeah.
Obviously, we see the kind of bashing that Ryan Garcia gets for his good looks, modeling, all that stuff. Do you feel that's warranted when you're also a fighter?
Oh, for sure. People think that you just got to where you are because of maybe your marketability or this or that. But that's been my way the whole life. It's being the amateur kid the Asian kid showing up to amateur tournaments and stuff like that. It's oh, you got the Asian guy, he's easy work, and you go in there and you start whooping ass, and people go, oh, this kid can actually fight. So I'm used to it. I really don't care too much. I mean, anybody that's ever trained with me or sparred with me knows that I want to go in there. It's balls to the wall, you know, just as hard as you can. So yeah.
Obviously, your 14-0 record backs that up. What do you think you need to do to be a world title contender? What does 2025 look like for you? I know you called out Zarafa, but who are some other guys that could be on the table for you for 2025 to further prove yourself?
Man, like someone like Liam Smith. I'm just done working out, so my brain's like fried right now. But yeah, I mean, those are the first two names that really come to mind. I've thought about. I've watched them fight. I know where I stand with them. Youth, speed, size, strength. I'm funnier. Yeah, I think
Hamza Shiraz, he trains in Van Nuys.
Yeah. I mean, I've sparred with Hamza a lot. Him and I, when I was 19, even before I had my pro debut, I was sparring with Hamza a lot, and he was probably 12-0 at the time.
Is he the real deal?
Yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, he's good. He's a good fighter. I have nothing bad to say about him. He's a nice kid, a great team. Like his manager, nice people. We are in the same division though, you know. So I mean, nothing personal. It's like, you know, if we gotta run, we gotta run it. But he's I think a little bit further on than me, in as far as just his career point. He's looking at like he's really at that contender like to fight for the title kind of level, and I'm just one step behind him. So I'm catching up though. You know, I'm closing that distance really quick.
160, it really needs a face because we have Janibek who just beat Mikhailovich in Australia.
Yeah, last night, right?
Yeah.
I started with Johnny Beck a lot when I was much younger, like 4 years ago. But yeah, great fighter. But hey, you know, I'll be the face, I'll be the hands, I'll be the legs, I'll be out hit on it. Like 160 needs it. You know, I mean, give me a year and a half, and I'll be there.
Because it's arguably one of the weakest divisions because there just aren't that many great fights to be made. And do you feel like this is a perfect opportunity for you to be the new face?
Yeah, 100%. Timing from the timing of it, the division itself, where I stand in the division. I think I can bring something new, and yeah, I mean, like, no fight's easy at this point. Like, you know, things are getting hard. Every fight's gonna be hard. Like, there's no walkovers, you know. And so, I'm ready for my time. To be honest with you, I'm ready for all of it. Yeah.
Let's talk about the boxing calendar really quickly. Your predictions.
Yeah.
Better be of Bivol.
That's so hard. I'm gonna say Bivol, and strictly because like my lack of knowledge about Bitterbeat is like I don't really pay attention much to like the light heavyweight, cruiserweight divisions that much, but I've seen Bivol fight a lot. I've been in the gym with him quite a bit over at Churchill when I was over there, the Matchroom Boxing Gym now, and he's raw. He's really good, but I mean don't take my word for it. Like at that point, you know.
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. You think that's going to be you think it's going to be exhibition or an actual fight?
I think it's going to turn into an actual fight. I mean, talk about a guy like Mike Tyson. You crack him in the mouth with his background and his natural instincts with things. I think he will take it from 0 to 100 really quick. I mean, it's like a sparring session. Oh, we're going light today. One round in, you know, you guys are just, you know, it's a street fight in there. So that's how I think it will go, to be honest with you. But I think Jake Paul takes it. Just based off of youth, you know, Tyson's he's an old guy, you know, like. Even in his prime, he's knocking guys out in the first 2 rounds. He's not known for being a distance fighter. So I mean, could he knock Jake Paul out in the first 3 rounds? Absolutely. Is Tyson a beast and a legend and like one of my favorite fighters of all time? Absolutely. But you know, I don't think the fight should be happening, to be honest with you.
What about Fury Usyk?
Usyk. Take Fury's out of it.
Of course, Usyk.
Yeah.
Usyk is my buddy.
Slava Shabransky over here, sparring with Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. You said Usyk. You think it's going to be a repeat of the same script of the first fight?
Yeah. I think Fury. You know, I think things are catching up to him. Age, family. He's got a lot of other stuff going on. And he's had a great career. I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. But you know, I think there's a new wave coming in.
We all want to see Canelo fight Benavidez, Crawford, the 2 biggest fights out there for him.
Yeah.
Do you think he beats both?
Yeah, I mean, just Crawford, I think he kills him. And not because Crawford, it's not a skill thing. I think it's just a power thing. You know, people say Crawford can like knock Canelo out. I mean, you're talking about Triple G, like Cotto, like the guys that Canelo has fought that couldn't knock him out, like it's not gonna happen.
Never been dropped.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so what do you think? Some 47-pounder is gonna come up and like just not some 47-pounder, great one, but it's just different. But Benavidez, I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen. I don't think. I mean, why would he? You know?
Let's talk about weight. Like, if you were to spar a cruiserweight right now, like, how would that feel for you?
I don't know, I'm pretty big right now. So I feel good. But no, I mean.
But just someone with like 30 pounds on top of you.
It's just the frame. It's different. Your punches don't. You know, you hit a guy like who's your weight and you're like, Bob, and his head goes this way. You hit a guy who's like 30 pounds heavier than you, like, Bob, his head goes like that. And you're just like, oh shit. Like, you know, it's just a little bit different. And plus, you know, like we had a buddy in here, like he got just punched in the sparring up 2 weight classes, got punched in the elbow, blocked it, just cracked his forearm. You know, just stuff like that. It's something your frame isn't meant to handle so much. I think Crawford would finish the fight with Canelo. I don't think he would get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Canelo would just break him, just like toss him around like a rag doll, just walk him back.
What about Benavidez?
I think Benavidez would. Right now in Canelo's career, I think Benavidez would take it home. I don't see anybody beating Benavidez, to be honest, in that division. I think he's the best.
And going back to you, 160, how big do you think you can get into? Do you see yourself fighting as a light heavyweight, a cruiserweight one day, or do you feel like a certain weight would be a bit more beneficial for you?
I think I could. I don't think I'd get above 168. I think that would be my peak. I mean, I spar mostly with 168s, like Caleb Lance, those kind of guys. I don't see myself getting bigger than that. I mean, I make 160 pretty easily right now at this point. I got a nutritionist on board. Weight cutting before was a little bit hard, but now we got the nutritionist. We got a lot of things. I mean, I weighed in at 157 my last fight, so yeah, that was my morning weight. Then I drank water, and then I weighed in on the scale. So it's like that was pretty good. So I'm comfortable where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Eric Priest, December 14, Golden Boy Promotions Show, Ontario, California. Opponents still to be determined. Looking forward to seeing what the future looks like for you.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.